able to rearrange the formula, then you would have struggled. Yes. I haven't put it up yet. Sorry, it's saved, but I haven't put it onto YouTube. I'll put it up. It's on the YouTube site, which I've sent you the link for. Otherwise, it's in the links on the OneNote in the welcome page. Okay. So if you, for those questions, sorry, I'm just trying to find them. For those questions in exercise 11B, we're going to use question 15 as our example. I'm just going to show you there are two ways to be able to find an angle. Now, I need to explain something to you. You don't need to completely understand this, but for some people, they might want to know. When we look at sine, so when we put in sine and a number, it comes out with an answer. Okay, and so it comes sine 1 comes out with an answer, sine 2 comes out with an answer, sine 3 comes out with an answer, all the way to like sine 1,000, sine whatever. And what happens is those answers come out in a wave. And so it goes up and down, and there's depending on what you put in, you can end up with multiple answers. So when we say sine something equals 12, there might be quite a lot of different angles which would actually equal 12, or numbers multiplied by sine, which equals 12. What we need to do is we need to classify it, or sort of bring our answer in so that we only find answers which would fit within a triangle. Okay, so what is the biggest angle in a triangle really? Well, for our right angle, 90, but you can have more than 90. So how much do the angles in a triangle add up to? 180. You're never going to get more than, yeah. So really, the smallest you're going to get is approximately like 179 and half a degree and half a degree. And it'll be this like triangle which look like this sort of thing, yeah? But, so none of the angles in a triangle are ever going, I'd appreciate if you turned your body around, please. None of the angles in a triangle are going to be more than 180 degrees. So we need to be able, when we use sine rule, we need to be able to get our answer and say we want our answer to be between 0 and 180 degrees. You could still sometimes get two answers, okay? And those two numbers will both actually always add up to 180 degrees. And so, but you need to be able to watch the question to be able to work out which one it is. But we need to get our calculator to do that, because a lot of time if we just go solve and put in our formula for area, it's going to come out with this really weird thing which you can't actually understand, you can't work out. All right, so if we're using your calculator to find an angle using the sine formula, so this is only when we use sine, okay, we have two different options. So I'm going to show you, we're going to use the example of question 15. So it's 13.4 centimetres and 15.8 centimetres. And it says the area is 97.4 centimetres squared, and we're trying to find this angle. Okay, given that we have two sides and the angle in between, we're going to use our formula, which is, and so we're going to say 97.4 equals half times A times B times sine C. So half of 13.4 times 15.8 times sine theta. Everyone okay to that point? We're just using the formula, subbing in the numbers. Now you have two options. We can either rearrange, or we can use solve, but we need to set theta to be between 0 and 180. Okay, so there are two options. We can either rearrange it. Now, I'm never going to tell you which option you have to use. It's up to you. But we need to be able to solve for theta within this. So if we look at rearranging, I'm just going to show you how to be able to rearrange it. So if we look at rearranging this, so we've got 97.4 equals half of 13.4, 15.8 sine theta. What do I need to move? I need to move, what am I trying to get by itself? I'm trying to get theta. Okay, so I'm going to have to move the sine at some point, and I'm going to have to move this part here as well. Everyone agree? Now, all of that's being multiplied together. So all we actually have to do is move the whole thing to the other side and do what? Divide, because it's being multiplied. So what about the sine? If I have to move the sine to the other side, what does it become? Inverse sine. So to rearrange this, I change the sine to inverse sine. And then I've got 97.4, because that's still staying in the same place, divided by, now if you wanted to, you could write 2 at the top. It's 2 times 97.4 to get rid of the half, but I just find it's just as easy to write half times 13.4 times 15.8 equals theta. So we rearrange it in the same way each time. We just go inverse sine. Yes? Yes. So if you actually worked out what the blue part is as a number and then just divided by that, that's exactly the same. That's fine. As long as you do it all together. Now, the other way you could have done it is without the half is gone 2 times 97.4 and divided by it as well. So every single time you're going to end up with inverse sine area divided by half AB equals C. That's pretty much every single time. If you rearrange that formula, that's what it's going to look like. Has anyone got an answer for me? Good, so we're just going to say 67 degrees. Can everybody see what I did there? So you can rearrange it and you'll get the right answer every time that way. Okay? The other way is if you like to use solve in your calculator, is that we can put in solve and then the formula. You know when we write solve in our calculator? I'll show you. It's a good question. So I'm going to write solve, I'll go solve C, sine C. We're solving for C. Now, I need to, pardon? It should be a big capital C, but it's going to change to a lowercase c anyway. So, does anyone know how I put in my calculator that I just want answers between 0 and 180? It's a straight line up and down. I'm going to show you where it is. We have to write a straight line. We have to kind of say we're putting some parameters on our answer. We want our answer to be between 0 and we want it to be greater than 0. And we want it to be less than, have I done that around the right way? I always get, yes, less than 180. That's how we write, that's how in our calculator we get the answers between 0 and 180. Now I need to show you where those buttons are. All right, so I'll just clear this. Do you guys need? All right, so what we do is where we go to solve, you can write in solve, or you can go menu, algebra, solve. So menu 3.1 is where you get solve from. So we go solve, we put in our answer, so 97.4 equals 0.5 times by 13.4 times by 15.8 times by sine bracket C, and I'm solving for C. Now, yesterday I forgot to put in the brackets there because I wrote in sine instead of finding the sine button. You do need the brackets, otherwise your answer's not going to come out right. Okay. Now, so that's we've done that quite a lot. You need to know how to use that solve function. Now, where we find that straight line, okay, is you need to go control equals. When you click on control equals, it brings up the greater than signs and the less than signs, which we're going to need to use as well, and this sign here, which is the sign we need to use. So that sign there, 0, control equals again. C, control equals again, 180. And you'll notice it gives you 2 answers there, but the question says that the angles are all acute. What does the angles are all acute means? They're all less than 90, so what's our answer? 67. So let me just write that down for you. I know that's going very fast for a lot of you. Okay, so to find these buttons, you need to go to Control and then the equals button. And that will give you all 3 of those buttons. So we're trying to say we need our answer between 0 and 180, and so then I can write C equals 67 degrees. Either way is fine. You choose what you're most comfortable with. So all that's saying is solve for C, given that I want my answer to be between 0 and 180. You only have to do this when you're finding an angle using sine. Okay? It's the only time you have to do the parameters.
X equals 360 or X equals 360.
Yeah, so did you put the brackets after the sign?
Yeah.
Did you make sure you put the given sign in? Because what it's trying, because there's lots and lots of different answers, we need to actually, because sine is a wave, it keeps going, there's lots of different answers. We have to actually say, no, we want the bit which is here. Okay? Because sine isn't just a rule just made for triangles, it's a rule which is used for lots of different things.
So if they did the area.
It's because you've used X and then you've used C.
Oh.
So you need to make sure it says use the same printing rule the whole time.
If the question didn't give you the area, then you just do it how it normally.
Yeah, if you're trying to find area, you just do it normally. So the only time you use this is when you're trying to find an angle using this rule.
How do you know if you need
because you've got 2 sides and an angle, and you know it's finding the area.
But it gives you the area.
Yeah, so you're using the area rule to find the angle. You could go 90 if you wanted to, yes. Just go 0 to 90 and you'd get the right answer. All right, what I'd like you to try and do, I know some of you already done it, but can you try and do question 17? And then we're going to move on. So I'm going to draw it for you so you don't have to if you don't want to. If you don't want to open your book, but you can open your book. Can you try that, and can you make sure you can do it in both ways? All right, I want you to try both ways. You've got 5 minutes and we're moving on. Could you guys copy down that triangle, because I actually have to do something else on my computer in a second. You have to come off the screen. Can you try both ways? Because I want you to be able to know how to do it both ways. And then you can make the educated decision on what you like best.